Hello, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Crypto Somniac here to bring you everything crypto related where the rich never sleep. So, today I want to talk about what the market's doing and is this the end? Is this the bottom of the crash? Everybody wants to know. I don't think so, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion because I want you guys to make as much money as you can during this time. I think we are not at the bottom. Now, why do I think that? Well, for starters, let's take a look at the cryptocurrency market cap chart. So we had a huge spike in May and in June. An enormous amount of money had flowed into crypto, and we saw people, got real excited, took some profits here. Let me zoom this back a little bit, pull this back to just this year. So we got real excited, saw some people taking some profits, and then we zoomed back up over the $100 billion mark. And that was a crucial psychological point. A lot of people, saw that as a sort of a breaking point. We had people taking profits and then people buying back in cheap. So you see prices go back up again and then so on. But then we've sort of got this downward trend here going on. And the biggest reason for that is because the uncertainty in Bitcoin. We have SegWit coming up. Now, I think there's something like an 80 to 90% chance that SegWit goes through, which I think ultimately is good for Bitcoin. I do not think that there's going to be a fork of two different coins. And ultimately, I think, well, think about it logically. You have all these major corporations and banks, and they don't want to invest money for something that's uncertain. They want to see how the market plays out. In case Bitcoin does fork, they want to know where the miners are going, where the people are going, and put their money there. There is so much uncertainty that big corporations with tons of money to risk aren't going to risk it at this time. So you're not going to see a lot of money flowing into crypto right now. You're seeing it actually flow right out. So I think we're going to continue to see this bear market for about another couple of weeks, and maybe even through the beginning of August, before we start to see some sideways consolidation and see that we've hit some support levels and stay in that range. Right now we've dropped back down to this. We had this support range in here in the 70s. I think right now we're at 80 billion. I think we're going to see us sit around this $70 billion mark. I mean, we had this huge spike over the summer, the beginning of the summer and spring. It's phenomenal. It's great for crypto, but don't think that we can have 1,000% gains every single month. We have to be realistic, guys. We have to realize that it's natural to see this pullback. It's healthy. It's good for the market. I don't expect us to go all the way back down here to the $25 billion mark. We broke through some really cool psychological barriers. We've got so much attention on all these altcoins and other great projects that didn't really have this attention before. So I think it's great for them. And I think as we come out of this bear market, we're going to see some of the cryptos that are able to maintain their position in the market. I think we're going to be able to see what technologies we're able to stand up against sort of this test. It'll be a chance for you guys to reposition your portfolio, invest in some new coins that are good long term, and I'll touch on some of them here. I think, again, keep on the lookout for my videos in the future, because I think it'll be interesting to see where we stand come August 1st. And even the first few days and weeks of August, to see what's still standing and what hasn't collapsed and what has. I think it's going to be a pivotal couple of weeks here. I think this is, again, a chance for you to buy in and add to your portfolio. I think if you haven't sold already, there's really no point. I do expect us to drop a little bit, but it's not worth it at this point to try and short the market. Shorting stuff can be way too risky, and it's just not worth it long term. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not a day trader, and maybe some of you guys are experienced enough to be able to do that, but generally speaking, I'm more of a long term. I like to see the tech behind projects, and I like to invest in stuff for at least a medium to long term. I think this stuff has great potential long term. I think we're going to see a lot more money flow into the market come the end of SegWit and the end of August. I think we'll continue to see an upward trend. I think this is just the beginning of a major trend over the next couple years. So I want to just show you guys, let's take a look at Bitcoin's coin market Bitcoin's market cap over the past few months, and even back to the beginning when we had this big spike initially, and then we kind of saw this big pullback, but you know, it was higher than when it started. We sat at this $200 mark, $300 mark for a long time, and then boom, another spike. And it could be the same thing, guys. It could be another several months or a year before we see the next big bull run. Now, I don't think it'll be quite that long. What we have a lot of new technology that wasn't around back here. It was being developed, and there wasn't any real use case for it. We have a lot of projects now that have real cool uses, decentralized applications, tons of cool things out there that have some use cases now that are even better than Bitcoin's blockchain and their technology. So I think we'll see which of those projects stick around in the long term. I think we'll find out which ones are still standing come August, and it may not be as long as it was before we saw this big rise here. So I just want to stress that this is good for the market. This is healthy. I'm looking at this and going, yeah, this is great. I'm preparing my portfolio. I'm stocking up on coins that I think are good. I'm buying on the down, and I think stuff's going to continue to slide. I think this is not the end. I think we're going to see Bitcoin come around to that $2,000 mark. And again, I think this is going to be a good opportunity to buy in. Some of my coins that I think are good to get into now and during these next couple weeks are, one, for sure, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, especially before SegWit. Even now, hold on to Litecoin. I think you guys should really pay attention to what happens to Litecoin, Bitcoin on August 1st. Let me show you guys something. Litecoin has a announcement on MIT's website. Now, for those of you who don't know, Litecoin was made at MIT, and they had this announcement going. No one's sure what this is. This could be, for all intents and purposes, just a prop. It could be shilling. It could be shilling Litecoin. Now, I don't know. It's something interesting to keep an eye on. A lot of people think Litecoin might be worthless if Bitcoin does implement SegWit. It is possible. I think Litecoin has the ability to add some things that Bitcoin just isn't ready for yet because they don't even have SegWit. So this could bode well for Litecoin and Bitcoin. Who knows? It's something to throw out there. I think you guys should keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on your investments, particularly in Litecoin and Bitcoin after the news on August 1st. I think I'll be keeping an eye on that date, and I'll be glued to my computer that day for sure. So Ethereum Classic, I think, is a great investment. I think it is. They got the Emerald wallet coming out. They have some dApps coming out for it, and you're going to see a lot of, I think, attention for it. And I saw this. I knew Ethereum Classic is undervalued. Just because we have Ethereum and the two forks and the split, don't underestimate Ethereum Classic. Take a look into it. You got the Emerald wallet coming out soon. Its value is going to increase. I think the ratio there, it's too much. It's not. What do we have? 15 to 200. That's like a 20 to 1 ratio almost. 15, 16 to 1 ratio. I see this more in like the 5 to 1 ratio, to be honest. Like this is undervalued, and I think people are going to see that soon. I think Dash is great. I think both Dash and NEM, they have similar use cases. They try to improve a lot of things that Bitcoin is failing to do. They're both faster than Bitcoin. I think Dash, Brandon Kelly pointed out in one of his videos, Dash has a very negative correlation to Bitcoin. Usually when Bitcoin goes down, Dash goes up. When Bitcoin goes down, or when Bitcoin goes up, Dash goes down, and vice versa. I'm not sure if I said that in the right order, but you know what I mean. So Dash, I would hold on to Dash right now if you got some, because I think you're going to see the slide in Bitcoin to continue. You got Monero on the list here. You got Zcash. I'm just going over some of the pieces of tech that I like really long term. I don't want to cover everything here. These are projects that I believe in, that I've been invested in for some time now. I've always liked Monero better than Zcash. I love the tech behind Monero. I think it's the best fungible private money out there. We have Steam. I love Steam. I post a lot of stuff on Steam. You guys can check my Steam out. I post these videos to Steam. For those of you who aren't aware, Steam is it's a really cool social media platform. You can post your content and get paid for it. I think it's awesome. I think it's like a better version of Reddit almost. I think it doesn't have the best user interface yet, but I mean, it's new and it's getting there. I think it's a really freaking cool idea. Ant shares. I love what AntShares is saying they're going to do. It's the Ethereum of China. So they're not as far as Ethereum is, but they're what they're claiming they're going to be, able to do is a lot better than what Ethereum can do. I would keep an eye on it. I am invested in it. I think it's a great time to get in. I like Sia Coin. I like Golem. Lisk is cool. Augur's cool. A lot of these projects are cool, but they're really so many. And I think you guys got to be realistic and understand what you can invest in and afford to invest in, and what you can't. Because I mean, some of these market caps are really low. I don't like to touch something that's, I don't know. It's really picky for me when you get below this $100 million mark. I'd say maybe even maybe 50 million. You got to be careful. You're going to have a lot of volatility in some of these coins, and some of them may get swallowed up in this next couple of weeks, month. So be careful with what you are invested in. Take this time to think about your portfolio, and think about what kind of trader you are. Are you a short-term or a mid-term or long-term trader? How old are you? Are you, if you're young like me, you can afford to take a little bit more risks with your portfolio. For me, this is I don't mess around with my money. This is a retirement fund for me. So I have to proportion some of my portfolio, for the long term. But then, I am younger, so I can afford to take a little risk. But at the end of the day, that's up to everyone and how much they can afford. If you're older and you're looking to invest, you don't want to take a chance on some of these other coins. You want to stay inside this top 10 or top 5. You want to go with the coins that are safe. If you're in your 30s or 40s, maybe you can, maybe you can play with less. You can still take a little risk, maybe not as much as me or some other people, but at the end of the day, it's up to you. But just think about what you're trying to gain from your investments. What kind of investment do you want to make? Do you want to make the very volatile ones where are you looking to get your money back tomorrow or next week? Are you trying to pay off your debts or your loans, or are you starting a retirement fund? So just keep those things in mind these next couple of weeks, and take the time to acquire coins that are backed by good development, have good marketing, have good projects, good tech behind them.